Excuse me. Let's go again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. You're watching the Press Club. Before the break, we were talking about the Lamberts story. Lamberts explodes being the headline, the front page story of the Star newspaper today. Following up on Rick Wayne's show on Thursday, which focused largely on the Lamberts and another case preceding Lamberts, drawing attention to the fact that human trafficking has pre-existed the Lamberts case. You were making a point, a very interesting point about due diligence, the fact that we need to tighten it up. And some of the lessons that we're learning from the Lambert situation, especially in terms of the ease of doing business. I know Emma during Emma Hippolyte, sorry,
Minister of Commerce.
I'm not going to call her on a first name basis. We're not friends. Honorable Emma Hippolyte, during the budget debate, spoke about what she compared St. Lucia, the ease of doing business, number of documents required to establish a business in St. Lucia, and St. Lucia required, if my memory serves me correct, about 18 documents, higher than most other jurisdictions. But are we now becoming too accommodating in our efforts or attempts to attract investment? And post-investment, are there any follow-ups to ensure that these people are legitimate and genuine?
Well, these are the issues. I think, you know, actions breed reactions, and we have to, as a society and as a profession, in terms of journalists, we have to understand that we have to learn from lessons, and the society will not normally learn from lessons until those lessons are taught. Now we are being taught lessons in business. Important is the follow-up. Look at the Lamberts issue. We've been looking at it from the standpoint of human trafficking. But how did Lamberts come here? Through investment. The story emerging from Rick's show is that this Mr. Shams tried to come in under previous pretext, failed, and came up with a new plan. What was the new plan? The new plan was to take advantage of St. Lucia's efforts to comply with the demands by the private sector to ensure that St. Lucia improves its ranking on the world rankings of ease of doing business. So local business, Chamber of Commerce in particular, has been whipping every government on the head to take steps to make it easier for investors to come and do business here, because like with tourism, we have the same things every other island have, and insofar as attracting business, we are in the same general location as as others. So therefore we have to find creative ways and means of attracting people to our shores, which we have, and we have to find creative ways and means of reducing the stress that persons wanting to invest here can. So one of the ways in which Invest St. Lucia was asked or told to take steps to improve our rankings in ease of business was to remove some of those strictures you mentioned, the 18 papers that have to be filled, vis-a-vis 5 in Barbados, or 4 in Trinidad. And therefore, ISL organized this major forum in Vieux Fort, which the main Lamberts culprit had been able to know was coming. And again, I keep saying here that the people involved in human trafficking are not slave ship masters with whips, but they're bright. They have to be bright enough to be able to fool governments. And that is exactly what was done by the Lamberts people. Invest St. Lucia, Ministry of Commerce, all of the government entities are telling you that these people did their homework and they did everything that was required of them. So that Lamberts acquired, not just acquired, but deserved and worked for and got its license. Where things went wrong was that when we give somebody a license to open a school, we don't go and check and see whether they're teaching the classes. We don't go back and check. So due diligence, which is sounds like such a nice word. It is something that is important. Due diligence, basically, folks, is if somebody says, I'm coming to invest in St. Lucia, I'm a good guy with a good record, due diligence is checking and see whether what that person tell you about themselves is correct, and secondly, whether they are hiding anything. Now, if I'm a thief and I want to come to become your friend to break open your house, I have to try and make sure you don't know I'm a thief and prevent you from getting access to information that I'm a thief, because that is going to prevent you. But if what I want at your home is sufficiently attractive, I will do what I have to in order to get you not to know that I'm a thief. So due diligence is easy to say, let's do the due diligence. How come we couldn't know these people were thieves? A thief is only a thief when he's caught. And when he's caught, it's always the first time. So we can't have our cake and eat it. We cannot say that we need to make sure that everybody who is coming here is not a thief, because it will take years to determine whether that person is a thief or not, or to get information that would prove that they are. So I think that one of the consequences, what I'm saying is that the Lamberts affair is a consequence of our lowering the bar in order to attract more business, which is what Invest St. Lucia was told to do, which is what it is expected to do. And in fact, people seem to forget that as soon as this whole Lamberts thing came out, the CEO at Lamberts Academy pointed out that his computer had been hacked. Had been hacked.
Was it Lamberts or Invest St.
Sorry, Invest St. Lucia CEO made it clear very early that his computer had been compromised. It was the word he used. But he informed all his email people, my computer has been hacked. It's not impossible. Of course, I heard people, there were those who said, you know, he wanted to hide the evidence, so he hacked his own computer. But the people like Dr. Shams and the others who are being accused of being the masterminds in the Lamberts, Asia is the headquarters for high tech.
Yeah, they're sufficiently sophisticated.
They're sufficiently sophisticated.
Yeah.
I mean, the Grenada government, St. Vincent government website was hacked as well. So I think that at the end of the day, this story is going to continue to snowball. It is going to, I think we should move beyond just waiting for the court case and just waiting to see what's going to happen with the students, but to learn the lessons from this, like we learned from the Cricket World Cup 2007. We were the first to build a stadium at Beausejour, you know, and everybody else copied from us what not to do.
Hey, but speaking of Cricket World Cup, Football World Cup, and this
FIFA
scandal.
Sepp is back.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, my quick interpretation of that was that the United States, in this day, what they tried to do was to continue to extend their jurisdiction beyond their borders. All what they said on Wednesday, they said they admitted that it was the result of 1 decade of investigations. Now, don't tell me that it was not planned, that those revelations would have been made Wednesday, 2 days before Sepp Batter's election. I will not at all rule out the possibility that the whole thing was aimed at influencing the
I don't
election.
think anybody will, because he said it himself. If the World Cup had not been awarded to Qatar and Russia, this would not have happened. The fact is, United States felt slighted. They felt, you know, something fishy is going on here, so let's look into it. And as a result, you know, it's interesting though that he's been asked by, you know, his closest associates. Two of the major football associations have, you know, prior to the vote, you know,
UEFA
and the German Football Association, don't run, you know, step back. You know, he's been accused of running the FIFA like a dictator, you know, which again suggests if you run it like a dictator, you must be aware of what's going on.
Now,
know,
the fact
let me
tell you, the fact that the United States chose to select who it was going to name charges against and chose to leave Sepp Blatter blank. I refuse to believe that the US wants to tell us they have nothing on Sepp Blatter. Okay, and if they have, why didn't they use it? But it was pointed out by analysts in the United States itself that there is too much at stake to remove Sepp Blatter from the standpoint that if UEFA pulls out and the Germans pull out, you don't have FIFA World Cup anymore, World Cup football. You know, it would die with FIFA, with them, and they could be accused of killing Football World Cup. Secondly, the big advertisers, if they pull out, and that's what's troubling them.
They're already threatening to do that.
Yeah, but if they do, there are 10 times the amount of others who are lining up prepared to replace them because their money was so big that they, you know, they had bought the spots. So if they move, that is not going to deny FIFA from the money, because there are smaller companies willing to put out as much money.
Yet another shadow that put on sports that it can ill afford. I mean, we talk about the drugs, the substance abuse, the other stuff. You know, now you have the
Before
corruption.
I run out of time, I want to. I've
already run out of time.
I've reduced it to cricket and football. They were good when they were sports. The moment they became businesses, it became not the scores but the dollars.
We are out of time, but before we go, just one note. We talked about it before. Rafael Marquez, the Angolan journalist who he has been
assassinated?
No, he has been found guilty by the court. He's been asked to pull his book off the market. He brought some charges in that book against some generals, Angolan generals.
Big deal. Pull it off the market. It's already out there.
You know.
Now it's going to sell.
You know, people are going to rush to get it up. We're out of time. Thank you for being here, Mr. Bousquet. Always a pleasure having you. I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully you'll join us next week for another program, and I'm sure there'll be plenty to discuss. The Lambert story is not going on anywhere fast. The Chasney issue is not going away in a hurry. Let's see if Charlie remains next week.
And I'm sure that by next week, St. Lucia will know that Guy Joseph lost his case in the in the constituency boundaries. That wasn't reported.
Who told you
this
that,
week.
Charlie?
No, I got it on the blue pencil.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll be right back. We'll be back next week, with another program. I'll see you then.